folks, and welcome to Subjective Thoughts. And our comic for today is FISHFLIES Issue 1 by Image. Now, there is possible murder, and probably a murder, metamorphoses, guns, blood, injury, and flies in this one. So if you are in any way squeamish, you have been warned. Also, spoilers. Alright, here is the team. The only guy I recognize out of here is Jeff Lemire. That's because I read the first issue of Royal City by him, and perhaps something else that I don't really remember the title of. Right. Now, I've had the free comic book day sample of this story. And after I read it, I liked it, and I decided to get the first issue. And so here we are. Right. The story starts with three boys going in the evening to a kiosk or 7-Eleven, however you call it, to get some ice cream. And when they reach it, there's a whole bunch of flies there. Like the front of the kiosk is covered. And one of the boys mentions that they're called fish flies. They come in the summer and then they all die together. They like the light. So then they don't want to go because it's like, ew, they're all over the parking lot. You can't even reach it without stepping on them. But then one of the boys dares the other. And for some reason I think he's blonde. The one with the longest hair to go inside. And he says fine, but then the third boy has to give him the $20 that he has. So it's settled, but he has to do it without his shoes. So he takes off his shoes and goes into the kiosk, about to ask for to get some ice cream, and then he sees that the owner, the seller, is lying on the floor with fish flies on him. And then he looks and he sees that there's another man at the cash register. And the man asks him, "What are you doing here?" And the boy's lost. He's like, "Popsicles." And then the man pulls out a gun. Then we go to the man waking up in a field and he starts to go. He has a gunshot wound in the stomach, at least I assume, or some kind of wound. And he's completely covered in fish flies. He starts running until he reaches a barn, but the fish flies completely covered him. Then there's an intermission, and then we see a little girl playing in a puddle, and she goes into the barn. That's her father's barn. And she sees the man, she pokes him, he doesn't wake up, but then she hears her school bus. So she covers him with hay, goes to school. And as they're driving to school, she can see, her name's Franny. We can see that there's police right in that kiosk from the night before. At least I assume it was the night before. Then when she comes back from school, she goes back inside the barn and tells the man that he has to leave. Because if her father finds him there, he's going to be very mad. So she helps him go to her hiding spot, which is this, I think, no, it's not a water tower, is it? No, it's not that. Oh, this sort of tower. I mean, maybe it's one where you store hay. Anyway, Franny hides there sometimes when she wants to be alone, and or if her dad's been drinking too much. So he lies down there. Fran goes back in the house. You see, Fran is kind of outcasted in her school because the kids laugh at her. Her nose always seems to be running. And when she goes inside the house, you can see that the family, her and her dad, her mom passed away. It's unclear when. They're very poor because there's not much food in the kitchen when she goes to make supper. All she has to eat is crackers. And her dad tells her he's not hungry as he's drinking a beer. He tells her not to go outside after what happened. That's when she learns that a boy's been shot. So I take it this man killed him. Then. So it's nighttime. She's lying in her bed. We see like it's split between her and the man in the tower, or in the structure. I'm gonna say it's maybe the keep barn inside. A barn, shit. Hay. Let's just call it a hay tower. You see him waking up, and he looks up at the ceiling, or where there's a hole actually, and it reminds him of the barrel of his gun. And then he sees the boy standing in front of him with a gunshot wound to the stomach. And then he starts freaking out and vomiting, and then we see that he starts to metamorph. So as this is happening, we go back to Fran. She gets up, because she promised him she would bring him some dinner, or supper, and some medication. So she goes to the bathroom, gets some aspirin, goes past her dad. He's asleep on the couch. She grabs, you can see in her pocket there's the crackers that she ate from earlier. And she goes back to the hay tower, opens the door, goes inside, and she sees, and then suddenly she's like, and then she sees the man has turned into, well, looks exactly like this, a fly creature. Now, instead of screaming or something, she's like, hi! And that's where the issue ends. Right, let's start with the cover. I like Jeff Lemire's art style. The art's by him. I like the colors he uses and everything. And even his faces. There's a bit of color inside, though. I think the sample I had was black and white. So you can see there's Fran in her red coat. There's the man. We don't learn his name. And maybe later, although now I don't know if he can talk even. So I'll show you the first 3 pages. So see, that's the art style. I really like it. I think he uses watercolor. There we go. There's the 3 boys. That's the one that gets killed. There you go. Yeah, it doesn't say art, but I think it's maybe, well, at this point, maybe it's clear. I think Jeff Lemire is somewhat known. I'm not sure, though. There we go. You can see they're walking. They reach these. He kind of looks like that character from Royal City. There we go. You can see, and then they see the fish flies. So yeah, nice art. Yeah, I think in the one I had, it was black and white. You can see here there's a bit of yellow and stuff. I don't fully remember. I believe it was purely black and white. Well, that's it. And now there are like 60 pages here, something like that. It's a very thick issue, but I'm not going to show more just in case. I don't want to get in trouble. Well, that was the art. Love his art style. I like the colors. I think I don't remember. I think Royal City might have. I don't remember if it had color. If it was also black and white, and maybe some a little like yellow and this light gray or blue. Don't know. All right, on to the story. As you can understand, me buying this, I did like what I read in the sample. It did seem like it was gonna go maybe somewhere interesting. It cut off like right after he goes into the barn, and Fran's about to go into the barn. That was most of it. So it seems like it's gonna be interesting. It kind of gives off a vibe of the human fly, a little bit, doesn't it? I know there's a book, but I know there's a movie, and then there's a remake with Jeff Goldblum. Yeah, this guy also turns into a fly after he's bitten by the fish flies. Friend tells him, "You're probably being punished by God." I mean, perhaps. Look what he turned into. So yeah, this is very interesting where it's gonna go. Cause is he gonna be able to talk? And now what? That he's turned into this humanoid fly. What's gonna happen? I mean, the police are obviously looking for him. Well, now even if they find him, they're not gonna know it's the same guy. But it begs the question, what's gonna happen? Can he talk? Can he communicate? Is this change permanent? Is there something he can do? What's Fran gonna do with him? She gonna keep hiding him, trying to help him? I mean, again, maybe he's gonna become kind of like her friend, because she doesn't seem to have really any friends. And life at home isn't exactly peachy. So I don't know. I will say I am interested to see how this continues. I got the second issue. Now, I will say this already. I think maybe by the end of this, because it's supposed to have, I think, maybe 6 issues, if I remember correctly. Maybe this will be one of those where it's best to just read it as a trade. Because there's also a lot of pages where there's no dialogue, it's just pictures. So I don't know. Maybe by the end of it, I'll realize I should have just waited for a trade. But it is curious to see where this will go, and how will this even conclude. But yeah, that's about it. Alright, folks, so let me know. Have you read FISHFLIES? What did you think about it? Did you like it? Did you find it boring? Let me know down below in the comments. And do you like Jeff Lemire's writing and art? And that is it. Now remember, collect what you're passionate about and share it on YouTube. Bye!